Ah, the Crucible. It is a magical place where anything is possible.
You want to shotgun kill someone after they already meleeed you? No problem. Or would you like to snipe the enemy from an unreachable out of map location? Shax gotcha. Even if your wish is to get put into a team of random solo players and match up against a pre-made clan team, the Crucible is the place for you. Get ready to enjoy the awesome feeling of starting out as a new player in the Crucible. Thank us later, your dear friends Bungie. Hi guys, welcome to Gaming Watcher. My name is Rolson, and in this video I'll give you a complete beginner's guide to the Crucible in Destiny 2. Now I want to say right off the bat that I am not at all a good PvP player in Destiny 2, so this is not a guide on how to own in PvP or how to get better in the Crucible. This is a walkthrough of everything you kind of need to know, kind of the basics of how does the Crucible work, what are the different ranking systems, what rewards can you get from the Crucible, who is Shax, what is the Crucible, all of that kind of stuff. So it's a complete beginner guide for players that have never entered the Crucible before. I'll go through the game modes, the gameplay, the rewards, who is Shax, the Valor rank and the Glory rank system, and lastly I'll give you some tips on how to do better, not predicated on skill but predicated on strategies for winning matches without any skill. Okay, but let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about game modes. The Crucible has a lot of different ways for you to be slaughtered by better players, and as usual with Destiny, the in-game descriptions of these modes leave a lot to be desired, so let's just go through them one by one. Control. Control is probably my favorite mode. It's also kind of the core mode of the Crucible. In Control you have to capture zones and hold them. When you capture zones you get points for your kills. Capturing the zones themselves also give points to your team. Capturing one zone counts for 1 point, capturing 2 zones counts for 2 points, and capturing 3 zones counts for 3 points. Makes pretty good sense, right? Controlling 0 to 1 zones will result in 1 point per kill, and each zone after the first zone captured adds 1 point per kill. First team to reach 150 points win the match. Control is a 6 versus 6 activity, and there is no exclusive solo queue, so you might end up with 6 opponents from the same clan. It happens. The reason why it is my favorite mode is that it is a true team activity, and there are a lot of other ways to help the team besides getting kills. Of course that is nice for me because I suck at stuff like aiming, and so I try to help the team out the best I can. There are several ways of doing this, but just focusing on the zones help the team out a lot. Capturing zones, defending zones, attacking enemy zones and thereby keeping them busy also helps. Sacrificing yourself to defend a zone actually really helps out the team, so that is an option as well. Also, that is what Shax would want you to do. Don't run away from a zone. If you're standing there and see 3 enemy players coming at your zone, just get ready to stand your ground and give them absolute hell as long as you can. Evade their fire, throw your grenades, throw your super, throw everything at them. Don't go down without a fight, Guardian. Keeping 3 enemy players occupied by defending a zone can be just what your teammates need to take one of the enemy zones and give your team advantage. Clash. Clash is a 6 vs 6 mode and is available as a weekly rotational game mode. It's a standard team deathmatch mode. A team can win a clash by either being the first to score 150 points or having more points than the enemy team when the timer runs out. There's not much to say about Clash, it's pretty straightforward. Get kills, don't die, stick with your team and help them out. Survival. Survival is a 3v3 game mode where you have a shared pool of respawns on each team. Every time you die and respawn, you use up one of your team's lives. So the way you win a survival match is by making the other team use up all of their respawns. Once they have no more lives left, you just have to wipe out the team, and because they can no longer respawn, you win the match. Survival is the only competitive game mode so far. It has a regular queue and a freelance queue. The freelance queue makes sure that there are no pre-made fire teams, so it's basically a solo queue. There are a few things that are worth mentioning about the survival playlist. First of all, this is the playlist that gives the most rewards. I'll go into more detail about this later when I talk about the rewards in the Crucible, but generally for rewards, the survival playlist is the best. Well, if you're not thinking about Trials of Osiris, that is. I'll get back to all of that. The second thing worth mentioning is that the survival playlist is a true team effort mode. So when playing it, try to really think about the team more than your own score, because you have a shared life pool. And every death is equally bad for the team, so if there's a player that is clearly better at getting kills than the rest of the team, support that player and try not to use up too many of the lives respawns. It's better to make sure that the best player is left alive should you run out of lives. In general, not dying is your main objective in a survival match, so pick your battles wisely.
Rumble.
Rumble is a classic deathmatch, not team deathmatch. Every guardian for themselves. You get a point every time you kill someone, and the first to hit 20 points wins the match. In the top you will see your own placement, your points, and the points of the leading player. The reason why I say it like that is of course because I am never the leading player, so I have never seen how it looks when that happens. Rumble is very simple but pretty sweaty because everyone is against everyone. Rumble is an offensive game mode. You can only win by getting kills, so go and get them frags, boys.
Showdown.
In Showdown you play 4 versus 4. It's basically a team deathmatch. The team that gets the most kills before the time runs out wins the round. To win the match, you have to win the most rounds.
Elimination.
Elimination is a 3 versus 3 PvP mode that is available as a permanent standard game mode. In this game mode, rounds are only won when a team's players are all dead. So what this means is, when you kill someone, they can still be revived by their teammates. So you need to make sure that the 3 enemies are dead at the same time to win the round. Reviving teammates is crucial for winning an elimination match. Always prioritize reviving teammates because that is what will turn the tide of a match. Several times I have been the only player left on the team and been able to revive both of my teammates and take the other team down. Mayhem. Mayhem is absolute chaos. It's pretty fun but also very confusing and chaotic. The reason for this is that your abilities, including your super ability, has almost no cooldown whatsoever. It's basically a match type where you use abilities instead of guns. Sounds fun? Well, it is! Mayhem is a 6 versus 6 mode that is available only as a weekly rotation game mode. Killing someone provides 1 point, and killing someone with your super abilities will provide an additional 2 points. First team to 125 points wins. Trials of Osiris. Trials of Osiris is insane. Now, if you're good at PvP, this might not be true for you, but for PvP players like me, going into Trials feel like volunteering as a moving target at a shooting range. Trials is the hardcore PvP mode, the PvP endgame so to speak. It's a 3 versus 3 special PvP mode that is only available for a limited time each week, from the start of the weekend on Friday to the weekly reset on Tuesday. It takes place on a different map each week. There is no matchmaking for Trials of Osiris, so players must assemble a fire team of 3 guardians in advance if they want to compete. Trials of Osiris follows the elimination rule set. Trials of Osiris has amazing rewards called Adept rewards. To get these, you have to win matches and get a win streak going. That is the whole thing about Trials. It's about the streak. The higher win streak you get, the higher the rewards. If you win 7 matches in a row, you go flawless, as it's called, and you get a special chest. I've never tried this, so I wouldn't know anything about it, and so I'm going to stop talking about it right now. That's all of the current game modes in the Crucible as I'm writing this guide, but Bungie has a habit of making new game modes and experimenting with things pretty often, so there's no guarantee that this is still correct by the time you watch the video. And while I appreciate Bungie for not giving their players any information about the game so the content creators like me can do it instead, I'm not as thrilled about the habit of constantly making massive changes to the game, because it just means that all of my guides constantly get outdated. What I try to do is to make my guides as timeless as possible. This is why I don't make guides on seasonal content, for example, but only core activities, and here I have gone through the core game modes of the Crucible. I don't think any of these are going away. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about how the gameplay of the PvP part of Destiny 2 is different from the PvE part. Gameplay. There are a few things in the gameplay that you should be aware about when you venture into the Crucible for the very first time, especially if you have played the PvE content. So the first thing I want to mention here is the power ammo. You spawn without power ammo in the Crucible. On each map there is one location where power ammo will spawn. It is marked on the screen and there is a timer so you can see when it spawns. Power weapons equal instant kills in PvP, and so the power ammo is something that everyone wants to get. Because of that, these power ammo spots turn into hot zones when the ammo spawns. It's risky to go for it, but can also give you the upper hand in the match. Special ammo works a little different. You do spawn with special ammo, but only a couple of shots. Enemies will sometimes drop special ammo that you can pick up, but there's a timer on it, so you need to be fast before it despawns. So if you're planning on using a special ammo weapon, you need to be aware of this. You get ammo by killing enemies. Both special and power ammo is shared in the Crucible, meaning you see the same ammo as your team members, and if they pick it up, you can't. Then there is the radar. This works pretty much as it normally does, just has a lot more utility when doing PvP. By looking at the radar, you can see in which direction the enemies are, and that is extremely useful. In PvE, I normally only use the radar to see where my teammates are and where their objective is, but in PvP, knowing what directions enemies are in is the most important info. The radar glows red in the direction of enemy fire, so keep in mind that there might be enemies in other directions as well. You might be thinking, but Rosen, what is the meaning of this? Why do we fight each other in the Crucible? What is the purpose? What is the meaning of life? And to that I will say that you're taking this way too seriously. And also, Valor and Glory. In the Crucible there are two different ranking systems, Valor rank and Glory rank. Valor rank is kind of a basis rank and Glory rank is the competitive rank. It's harder to earn Glory rank than Valor rank. Valor rank goes up every time you complete a Crucible match, no matter the game mode. You earn more Valor if you win, but you earn Valor no matter if you win or lose. If you build up a win streak, you will earn even more. Glory rank is different in that it goes down when you lose. Not as much as it increases when you win, but it still makes for a big difference from Valor. Glory is only earned in the competitive playlist. Both Valor and Glory have different levels that you can go through. First level is Guardian, then it's Brave, then it's Heroic, then Fabled, then Mythic, and then Legend. Each of these ranks has 3 levels, so Guardian 1, Guardian 2, Guardian 3, and so on. The names of the ranks are the same in both the Glory and the Valor system. Once you reach the top level, you can reset your rank level. Why would you care about these ranks and why would you reset them? That is a very good question, imaginary viewer, that I just made up. Thank you for asking that. Sometimes quests, triumphs or challenges require you to earn Valor or Glory ranks or reset the rank, meaning you'll have to get to the top rank. When you increase your rank, you also get certain rewards. I'll get back to that later when I talk about the rewards in the Crucible, which is now rewards. In the Crucible there are many different kinds of rewards structures. I'll go through them here, but I won't go through all of the Trials of Osiris rewards because since this is a beginner guide, I don't assume that you're jumping into the most hardcore game mode in the Crucible just yet, and also I have absolutely no experience with Trials of Osiris or the rewards of that game mode, so I'll stick to the stuff that I know and let the sweats take care of the Trials info. In the regular Crucible game modes, you of course earn rewards every time a match is finished. These are rare, legendary or even exotic rewards. You also get glimmer and some planetary resources after each match. Sometimes engrams and prime engrams will drop during matches as well, but this is totally random. Then when you reach a new Valor rank or Glory rank, you also get certain rewards. Actually, each time you increase your rank, you get powerful rewards. If you're not sure what powerful rewards are, watch my guide on how to level up fast in Destiny because the Crucible is an important part of that. When resetting your rank, you also receive a powerful reward. Then, if you go to the Crucible vendor Shax in the tower, he also has some rewards for you. When you play the Crucible, you earn reputation with Shax. You can see your reputation rank here in the top of Shax's vendor menu. Every time you go up a reputation rank, you can get an engram from Shax. These engrams will contain specific Crucible gear. You also unlock these other rewards like upgrade modules and enhancement prisms that you can see down here. Finally, there is a seasonal Crucible armor set that you can earn by completing weekly Crucible challenges. These are the seasonal challenges that you find in your quest tab in the director. Then each season there is a new ritual weapon available for you to earn, and for this weapon you can get 3 ornaments. One from the Vanguard, one from the Crucible, and one from Gambit. To earn the ornament you have to pick up the quest from Shax. It's usually on page 2 of his vendor menu, so click the arrow on the right here and you will find it. So that is all the rewards that you can earn from the Crucible and from Shax, but who exactly is Shax besides just the guy who yells into your ears until they bleed? Shax. Lord Shax is a fierce warrior. Maybe the most brutal fighter out of all of the Guardians that we know. His story is deeply entangled in the complicated lore of Destiny, so in this video I won't go into too much detail about it because it's a whole video in itself, but I'll tell you why Shax created the Crucible in the first place. So Lord Shax participated in a historical battle called the Battle of the Twilight Gap. In this battle a lot of legendary Guardians died or disappeared, and so afterwards they left a void. To fill that void was a new generation of inexperienced Guardians, and Shax saw that they would have a hard time living up to the legends that came before them. So Shax decided to create a proving ground for Guardians, a place where they could train and hone their skills, where the best Guardians would reveal themselves. This is what the Crucible is. It's a place to train your skills as a Guardian and prove to Lord Shax that you can live up to the legends that came before you. Why is Shax called Lord Shax? Shax was once a warlord, which at the time was basically the same thing as a king. He had a castle and a people living within it that he protected and ruled over. He was later invited to join the Iron Lords but refused. If you played the Iron Banner, you know Lord Saladin, the Iron Lord, running that activity. Okay, now I just start mentioning things that I'm not going to explain any further, so I'm just gonna stop doing that, and instead I'm going to give you some tips on how to do better in a Crucible match as an absolute newbie. Tips from a noob. So, as promised, I'm going to give you some tips on how to do better as a new player in the Crucible. As mentioned, I'm not a great PvP player, but I think that actually makes me the perfect guide for you as a new player, because my advice is not predicated on skill, but instead I have some strategies that will help you do better even without any skills. The first thing that I will say is think about the team score instead of your own score. Even with very little skill, you can still be a great support for your team. Try to identify the good players on your team early in the match and then stick with them and try to help them out with whatever they're doing. Give them covering fire, distract the enemies, throw down a shield or a rift to give them protection, even sacrifice your life to help them stay alive. It all helps your team to win. Just sticking with them and adding your damage to theirs is a great help. This will help you win matches in general. If you're playing Control and you're not the best at getting kills, focus on capturing zones and defending them. This will let the better players focus on getting kills, and so you have a better chance of winning. Another general tip that has nothing to do with skill is try to have a long ranged and a close ranged weapon in your loadout. Then when you move around the map, switch around the weapons so they fit the area you're in. So if you're in an area with small corridors and tight spaces, switch to your close combat weapon and vice versa. This will help you be ready for encounters with enemy players. The last tip that I will give you is to use the private match function to get to know the maps a little bit. Knowing the maps will start you off on a better foot than going in blind. So my Kinderguardian, you're ready to embark on a magical journey into the Crucible. Have fun being one shot 5 seconds after you respawn for the first 10 matches. If you guys want to connect with me or the other gaming watchers, we have a Discord channel and there's actually a lot of people in there. There's over 100 people in there by now, and we all play Destiny together, talk about Destiny. You can connect with me and the others, and also you can stay updated on what is happening on the Gaming Watcher channel. So if you want to do that, join the Discord. I'll leave a link in the description. Smash like, subscribe and all of that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.